We spend most of our lives taking care of everyone else. Raising kids, building a home, working hard, making sure everyone has what they need. And somewhere along the line, we forget to stop and ask ourselves, what about me? Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, how did I get here? Not in a sad way, but just in a moment of quiet realization. Your hands have more lines than they used to. Your joints don't move quite like they did. You get tired a little faster, sleep a little less deeply, but what hurts the most, it's not the body. It's the feeling that nobody really warned us. Nobody sat us down and said, hey, after 60, things change. And what you eat. It matters more now than ever. Here's the part no one tells us. There are foods we've eaten for decades, good old comfort foods, childhood favorites, that are quietly, slowly stealing our energy, our memory, even our years, and the worst part, they're still in our kitchens. Still on our plates. Still marketed like they're harmless, even healthy. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here because someone you love needs to hear this. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your spouse. But if you've made it past 60, then you deserve to know the truth, because once you do, everything changes. Let's talk about 10 foods that secretly shorten your life after 60. And I'm not just talking about the junk food we all know is bad. I'm talking about the sneaky stuff. The everyday foods we've trusted for years. Let's take a walk through this together. Gently. Honestly. Like two old friends sitting on the porch, having a cup of tea, finally telling the truth. Point 1. Processed meats, the sandwich killer. You know that slice of ham you throw into a sandwich for a quick lunch? Or that pack of bacon you treat yourself to on Sundays? I want to share something that shocked me to my core. The World Health Organization has actually classified processed meats like ham, salami, bacon, and hot dogs as carcinogens. That's the same category they put tobacco in. Let that sink in for a second. They're not saying it might be harmful. They're saying it is, and here's the scary part, it's not about how much you eat. Even small amounts over time have been linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer, heart disease, and stroke. Now, I know, it's convenient. It's tasty. It's what we grew up on. But after 60, our bodies become more vulnerable to the things we used to brush off. Our digestive system slows down. Our immune system gets a little more sensitive. So those nitrates and preservatives they pack into deli meats? They don't just pass through anymore. They stick. They linger. They do damage. So if you've got that turkey slice in the fridge, it might be time to let it go. Point 2. Margarine, the silent switch. Back in the day, they told us margarine was better than butter. Remember that butter was the bad guy. Full of saturated fat, going to clog your arteries, but margarine? That was the future. Smooth, spreadable, heart healthy. Only, it wasn't. What we didn't know back then is that many margarine brands were packed with trans fats. And trans fats? They're one of the worst things you can put in your body. Even today, even with improved labeling, some kinds of margarine still contain small amounts of trans fats and chemical additives that raise your bad cholesterol and lower the good kind. They affect your memory, your joints, your heart. Now, I'm not saying butter is perfect. But real butter, in moderation, is better than fake fats pretending to be good. Sometimes the old ways really are better. Especially when it comes to your heart. Point 3. Diet sodas, the sweet lie. Let's be honest. We all want to cut sugar. And those diet sodas? They seem like the perfect solution. 0 calories. No sugar. Guilt-free, but here's what they don't tell you, artificial sweeteners like aspartame and sucralose confuse the body. Your brain gets the signal that something sweet is coming, but your body doesn't get the sugar it expects. Over time, this confusion affects your insulin response, your cravings, your metabolism. Studies have shown that people who drink diet sodas daily are actually more likely to gain weight, develop type 2 diabetes, and even suffer strokes, and after 60, that risk multiplies. Our brains are more sensitive. Our blood sugar regulation isn't as sharp. You might think you're helping yourself, but your body knows better. Sometimes what's 0 on the label isn't really 0 in your health. Point 4. White bread, the disappearing grain. Soft, familiar, easy to chew. White bread has been on our tables since childhood. Peanut butter sandwiches, morning toast, grilled cheese on rainy days. But here's the truth: white bread is stripped of almost all nutrients during processing. The fiber, the wheat germ, the vitamins, all gone. What you're left with is fast sugar that spikes your blood glucose, then crashes it just as fast, and that sugar spike? It affects more than just diabetes risk. It impacts your memory, your mood, and your inflammation levels. After 60, the body doesn't handle those ups and downs as well. And inflammation? That's the root of joint pain, heart disease, even certain types of dementia. I'm not saying you can't have toast. I'm saying make it count. Go for whole grains. Real fiber. Give your body the tools it needs, not just filler. Point 5. Canned soups, the salty secret. They're easy. They're warm. They remind us of home, but those canned soups we rely on? They often come with a shocking amount of sodium. Even the low-sodium versions can have hundreds of milligrams per serving. And if you eat the whole can, which most of us do, you could be consuming more than half your recommended salt for the day. Why does that matter? Because salt pulls water into your blood vessels. That raises your blood pressure. Over time, it stresses your heart, your kidneys, and even your brain, and as we age, our kidneys aren't as strong. Our hearts aren't as forgiving. So next time you open a can, flip it around. Check the label. And maybe, just maybe, consider making your own soup. A simple broth, some veggies, and a little love go a long way. Point 6. Fried foods, the crunch that hurts. There's nothing like crispy fried chicken, golden fries, or a fresh donut, right? But that crunch comes at a cost. Fried foods are high in trans fats, acrylamides, and inflammatory oils. They're cooked at high temperatures that create compounds your body doesn't know how to process. You may have noticed it yourself. After a fried meal, you feel sluggish, bloated, maybe even a little achy the next day. That's your body telling you it's overwhelmed. Studies show that frequent consumption of fried foods is linked to higher risk of heart failure, arthritis, and even cognitive decline. And after 60, our ability to clear out toxins slows down. What might have taken a day in our 30s now takes a week or never fully clears at all. You don't have to give up flavor. But try baking instead. Or air frying. Or using oils like olive or avocado instead of deep fryers. Point 7. Sugary cereals, the morning trap. We're told breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But many cereals, even the ones with whole grain or fiber on the box, are loaded with sugar and refined carbs. Even heart-healthy brands sneak in 10, 12, even 15 grams of sugar per serving. That's a dessert, not breakfast, and when you start your day with sugar, it sets your blood sugar on a roller coaster. You crash mid-morning. You crave more carbs. You're hungrier all day. Over time, this leads to weight gain, insulin resistance, and fatigue. Instead, start your day with protein, fiber, and healthy fat. A boiled egg. Oatmeal with berries. A little plain Greek yogurt. Give your body something it can use, not something it has to fight. Point 8. Packaged snacks, the hidden ingredients. Those crackers in the cupboard. The granola bars. The light cookies. They all seem innocent, but have you ever looked at the ingredients list? If you can't pronounce it, your body can't process it. Most packaged snacks are full of preservatives, added sugars, refined oils, and additives that disrupt your digestion and your brain chemistry. And here's the cruel part: the packaging is designed to make them look healthy. Words like natural, light, or made with whole grains don't mean anything. After 60, our digestion slows down. Our liver works harder. So even a handful of those light chips can cause days of inflammation or fatigue. Real food doesn't need a label. An apple, a handful of almonds, a boiled egg, these don't lie. Point 9. Flavored yogurts, the dairy deception. Yogurt is supposed to be good for your gut, right? And plain, unsweetened yogurt is, but flavored yogurts? Especially the fruit on the bottom kind? They're often packed with sugar. Some even have more sugar than ice cream, plus, the fruit is often just jam with added syrup. And the low-fat versions? They usually add more sugar to make up for the taste. That means you're getting a blood sugar spike and missing the healthy fats that help your body absorb nutrients. If you want yogurt, go plain. Add your own fruit. A few nuts. Maybe a drizzle of honey. Keep it real. Keep it whole. Point 10. Store-bought pastries, the sweet goodbye. We all love a treat now and then, but most store-bought pastries, muffins, danishes, cookies, donuts, are a combination of sugar, refined flour, trans fats, and preservatives. That's a dangerous combo, especially after 60. They cause inflammation in the brain. They affect your sleep. They spike your sugar, drop your energy, and feed the kind of bacteria in your gut that you don't want growing. You deserve a sweet life, but it shouldn't come from a plastic wrapped pastry. Bake at home or enjoy dark chocolate. Something made with love, not machines. Let me stop here for a moment. I know this might feel overwhelming. Like suddenly all the foods you loved are on the bad list, but I'm not here to take away your comfort. I'm here to give you something better: freedom from fatigue, from brain fog, from aching knees and restless nights, because when you start eating for life, not just for habit, something incredible happens. I know this might feel like a lot already. You've probably eaten some of the foods I mentioned earlier and thought, but I've been eating that for years. Nobody ever told me it was bad. And you're absolutely right. Most of us grew up trusting certain brands, packages, labels, even habits passed down by our parents. But now that we know better, we can do better. So let's keep going, not from a place of fear, but from a place of love. Love for your health. Love for your future. Love for every sunrise you still have the gift of waking up to. Here's the next one that might surprise you. #4. Canned soup, the comfort food that's quietly hurting your heart. Soup feels like a hug in a bowl, doesn't it? Especially when the weather turns cold or you're just having one of those low energy days. And while homemade soup can be healing and nourishing, those brightly labeled cans in the store are often loaded with extremely high levels of sodium. I'm talking sometimes over 800 milligrams in a single serving. And guess what? That can is usually 2 servings. So if you eat the whole thing, which let's be honest, most of us do, you might be getting more than 1,600 milligrams of sodium in just one meal. Why does this matter? After 60, your body isn't as efficient at regulating fluids and blood pressure. That excess sodium can quietly strain your heart, increase your risk of stroke, and contribute to something called silent hypertension. The frustrating part? You might not feel anything right away. No warning signs. No dramatic symptoms. Just a slow, silent strain on your most important organ. What can you do instead? Try making your own soup in batches and freezing it. Use herbs, garlic, onions, and a little olive oil for flavor instead of salt. And if you do buy canned soup, look for low-sodium versions and always check the label. Your heart will thank you for it. #5. Healthy breakfast cereals, the sweet deception. I am going to say something a little bold here. Just because a cereal box says whole grain or heart healthy doesn't mean it's actually good for you. In fact, many of the cereals marketed toward older adults, the ones with calm colors, words like fiber or digestive health, are still loaded with added sugar and refined carbs. And here's the kicker: sugar in the morning is like lighting a match in a dry forest. It spikes your blood sugar, gives you a quick burst of energy, and then crash. Fatigue. Irritability. Cravings. Worse still, it puts extra pressure on your pancreas, increasing the risk of developing insulin resistance, a key contributor to type 2 diabetes. You may have thought, well, it's better than a donut, and yes, that's technically true. But these cereals are still working against your body. Not with it. Try switching to something that truly supports you, like steel-cut oats with cinnamon, chopped nuts, or berries. It's real food, not a factory creation. And it gives you long, stable energy, not a sugar roller coaster. #6. Processed deli meats, sliced, sealed, and secretly dangerous. This one hurts me to say because I know how easy it is. You're tired, you open the fridge, and there's that packet of sliced turkey or ham. Quick sandwich, no fuss. But these processed meats, the ones that are vacuum sealed and filled with preservatives, can quietly cause real harm. They're often packed with sodium and nitrates, chemicals used to preserve the meat and give it that pink color. The problem? Nitrates have been linked to inflammation and even cancer risk, particularly colorectal cancer, and over time, inflammation contributes to heart disease, cognitive decline, and even joint pain. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat a turkey sandwich again. But there's a difference between occasional treats and daily habits. The more often we rely on processed deli meats, the more we expose ourselves to their hidden risks. Here's a better idea: buy a small roast chicken, slice it up yourself, and keep it in the fridge. That way, you still get the convenience, without the chemicals. #7. Margarine and fake butters, the great fat lie. Back in the 80s and 90s, many of us were told to avoid butter like it was poison. We were told margarine was healthier because it had less saturated fat. And we believed it, but here's what science later discovered: many margarines, especially older or cheaper brands, were made with trans fats. Trans fats are among the most dangerous substances you can eat. They raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, lower your good cholesterol, HDL, and dramatically increase your risk of heart disease. So much so that many countries, including the US, have worked to ban them completely, but even now, some margarine-like products still contain other harmful ingredients or hidden trans fats in small amounts. The labels might say 0 grams, but that's allowed as long as it's under a certain threshold per serving. And those small amounts add up, especially if you're using it every morning on toast. A better alternative? Real butter in moderation. Or better yet, extra virgin olive oil or avocado spread. Natural fats like these support your heart and brain, rather than damage them. #8. Instant noodles, the cheap meal with a heavy price. This one is tricky because it's often seen as an easy meal for those on a tight budget. Maybe you even remember your kids or grandkids living on them during college. But for seniors, especially, instant noodles can be a silent health trap. Why? They're not just low in nutrients, they're anti-nutrient. That means they rob your body of what it needs instead of giving it more. Loaded with sodium, preservatives, and refined white flour, instant noodles contribute to inflammation, poor digestion, and, again, high blood pressure. The flavor packets alone are often full of MSG and artificial additives. I know they're convenient, but they don't nourish you. And at this stage of life, every meal should be seen as medicine, something that strengthens you, not something that breaks you down. Not if you love noodle dishes, try using whole grain noodles or even zucchini noodles, zoodles, and toss them with olive oil, garlic, and veggies. It takes just a few extra minutes, but gives your body what it actually needs. The bigger picture: it's not just about food. It's about control. Here's the truth a lot of people won't tell you: when you start to eliminate these silent, harmful foods from your life, you're not just protecting your health, you're taking back control. After 60, it can feel like so many things are outside our control: aches and pains, doctor visits, medications, memory slips. But food? That's one thing we can still choose every single day, and those small, thoughtful choices? They add up to a longer, stronger, more vibrant life. You deserve to feel good when you wake up. You deserve steady energy. You deserve to move with ease and peace. And it starts with something as simple and powerful as what's on your plate. In our final chapter, we're going to talk about the last two foods, and these are big ones. I saved them for the end for a reason. They're hiding in plain sight. And for many seniors, they're daily habits that feel comforting, even joyful. But they might be costing you years of health. Thank you for caring about your health. Thank you for being curious, open-minded, and courageous enough to ask, what can I do better? That alone already puts you ahead of most people. And now, before we wrap this up, there are two more foods we need to talk about. And these are often the hardest to let go of because they're deeply woven into our lives, through memories, rituals, even relationships, but they're also some of the most harmful when we're over 60. So let's finish strong, not with fear, but with hope. Let's start with this one. #9. Sugary drinks, the sweet poison in disguise. You probably guessed this would be on the list, right? But let's be honest, it's not just the obvious sodas anymore. The danger goes far beyond Coke and Pepsi. I'm talking about sweetened iced teas, flavored coffees, energy waters, fruit punches, and even some bottled smoothies that seem healthy but are packed with hidden sugars. Here's what happens when you drink these: the sugar hits your bloodstream faster than solid food. That spike makes your pancreas scramble to release insulin. Over time, your body starts to get tired of this cycle. It's like knocking on the same door every hour until the person inside stops answering. That's insulin resistance. That's how type 2 diabetes starts. And the sugar? It feeds inflammation, damages your blood vessels, and accelerates something called glycation, a process where sugar sticks to your cells and literally ages your body from the inside out. Wrinkles, stiff joints, brain fog. All of it worsened by excess sugar. And it doesn't stop there. Sugary drinks also increase your risk of stroke, dementia, fatty liver, and heart disease. They don't nourish you. They rob you quietly, consistently, and efficiently. You don't have to be perfect. But awareness is everything. Try water with lemon or cucumber. Herbal teas. Black coffee with a splash of real milk or a dash of cinnamon. You might be amazed how quickly your taste buds adjust and how much more energy you feel when you're not constantly riding the sugar roller coaster. You deserve clarity. You deserve steady hands, focused thoughts, and the joy of waking up feeling refreshed, not inflamed. #10. Store-bought baked goods, the sweetest trap of all. Now this one is deeply personal for many of us, because let's face it, food is more than fuel. It's memories. It's birthdays and holidays and Sunday mornings. That muffin you grab with your coffee, that slice of cake at your grandchild's party, the cookies that remind you of someone you loved, and I get it. I truly do, but most store-bought baked goods, the ones that line the supermarket shelves, are not made with love. They're made with cheap ingredients designed to sit for weeks without spoiling. That means they're often full of refined flours that spike your blood sugar, added sugars, sometimes listed under different names, artificial preservatives, trans fats, or industrial seed oils that inflame your arteries. They're not treats anymore. They're traps, and they make you crave more, not less. That one cookie turns into a habit. That habit turns into weight gain, joint pain, insulin resistance, even depression. But here's the good news: you don't have to give up joy to protect your health. If you love baked goods, make them at home. Use almond flour or oats, natural sweeteners like dates or a little honey. Use real eggs, butter, cinnamon, and love. Real food. Real ingredients, because when you make it yourself, you're not just baking, you're choosing life. The truth you deserve to hear now. I want to end with something important, something I think you need to hear, especially if you're feeling overwhelmed or guilty. This is not about perfection. This is not about shame, it's about power. You have the power to choose what you eat. You have the power to start again every single day. And no, it's not too late. It is never too late. Science tells us that even people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond can see major improvements in energy, brain clarity, blood pressure, and joint pain just by changing what they eat. Imagine waking up with less stiffness. Imagine walking a little farther without losing your breath. Imagine remembering names, appointments, and special moments more clearly. That's not a fantasy. That's your body responding to love. Real love, and love doesn't always look like dessert or fast food. Sometimes love looks like a plate full of color, greens, oranges, reds. A glass of clean water. A walk after dinner. A good laugh with a friend. A nap in the sunlight. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are worth the effort. So as we wrap up this conversation, and that's what I hope this has felt like, just a conversation between friends, I want you to walk away with this: every bite is a chance to build something beautiful. Every meal is a vote for your future. And you, my dear friend, are not just surviving these years, you are allowed to thrive in them. I believe in you. I'm proud of you. And I'll be right here, cheering you on. Until next time, take care of your heart, your plate, and your precious self. You deserve nothing less.